On Tuesday morning, Premier and Minister for Finance Dr. Deolanda Smith presented the 2012 budget address entitled Austerity Today Secures Economic Recovery Tomorrow during the third sitting of the Second House of Assembly. The Premier presented a budget with projected revenues of $287,472,000, just over $400,000 short of last year's projected revenue. The Finance Minister said operational expenditure is expected to be some $258,472,000, which shows a $1.3 million decrease when compared to the 2011 budget.
Our projected revenue for 2012 is $287,472,000. This conservative estimate of a modest increase in revenue collection this year takes into account the slow pattern of growth projected in the United States and Europe, as well as slowing growth in the Asian economies this year. With this revenue projection and the cuts identified previously, we have estimated expenditure at $258,472,000, with an estimated surplus on operations of $29 million. Of this figure, Madam Speaker, we have allocated $30 million to the Development Fund, $1 million to the Pension Fund, and $15 million to the Reserve Fund. Madam Speaker, we consider that based on the current circumstances, that the Emergency Disaster Fund, Contingency Fund, and Repairs and the Renewal Fund are adequately funded, and that any allocations that might have otherwise been made were channeled to the Reserve Fund.
The Premier said that in addition to the cost-cutting measures already in place, other steps will be taken in upcoming weeks and months aimed at rebuilding a healthy surplus. He said that the Finance Department's target is to rebuild a reserve fund of $100 million by the year 2015.
In the coming weeks and months, the Ministry of Finance will be looking at further cost-cutting measures by examining the budget line by line, reviewing the structure of government contracts and the like to determine what additional savings can be made, as we are single-minded in the quest to move this country back to the days of a healthy surplus. We are, however, conscious of not putting an undue burden on the citizen. Finally, on this particular matter, Madam Speaker, my colleagues and I have set a target to building the Reserve Fund to $100 million by the year 2015. We have embarked on this journey, notwithstanding the physical constraints with which we are faced, by utilizing the cut in operations indicated, as well as proceeds from the IPOC Fund, to appropriate $15 million to the reserves in 2012 financial year.
The Finance Minister said that contractual obligations incurred by the previous administration have contributed to the current fiscal position of the territory, and a UK-based accounting firm has been engaged to analyze the Virgin Islands finances over the past 4 years. According to the Premier, contracts were signed in the closing period of the last administration, which he said were signed without due diligence. As such, the Premier said these contracts will be reviewed, and although government will not be unsympathetic toward the recipients of such contracts, it will be firm.
Before us, then, is the unpleasant task of determining the way forward in handling these obligations. Madam Speaker, the Cabinet is now actively looking at this problem with a view to arriving at a solution within the coming weeks. On this issue, we will not be unsympathetic, but we must be firm. Of one thing you can be assured, Madam Speaker, we will make the decisions in the best interest of all of the people of the Virgin Islands.
Premier Smith said that currently the government is facing a $112.3 million debt and plans to reduce that figure in 2012 fiscal year to just over $100 million.